Greetings and salutations, nerds. This is Praying for Superpowers,
a podcast about the deeper meanings, messages, and intricacies hidden within nerd culture. I'm Peter Jordahl.
And I'm Trevor Sharon, and today we're talking about Kaladin in our continuing World Singers character study series, or whatever we choose to call it.
That's the full title. So today we're talking about Kaladin. Kaladin Stormblessed, Kaladin son of Lirin. Kaladin Lirin's son, I guess could be.
Lirin's son, that's pretty cool. You may be confusing this with Kelsier, who we did a little while ago. Brandon Sanderson really likes names that start with K.
Yeah, it could also be Caromina, who's from Perfect State by Brandon Sanderson, also a K. He likes Ks.
Yeah, Ks.
Interesting. We'll do a character study on you, Brandon, sometime. No.
He can be there for it.
If he comes.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so
We'd
cool.
love that.
Real quick, just giving you kind of the rundown on who Kaladin is and his story. So you probably already know. Raised as a surgeon's assistant, sees blood and death from a young age. Then he becomes a soldier in an attempt to save his brother's life. His brother dies in his arms. Then after that, he continues to attack and murder people. He watches many friends get murdered in front of his own eyes, sold into slavery, betrayed by someone he trusts, becomes so apathetic because it's the only way he can handle his situation that he considers suicide. Once he comes out of that, he becomes fervorous in his guard of the fellow bridgemen in Bridge 4. He moves on to become a guard for Dalinar, High Prince of War, and then eventually he becomes the head of the Windrunners of the Knights Radiant.
So pretty normal, boring, typical life.
Yeah, pretty 9 to 5 type thing he's doing.
We've all been there,
This
right?
is his life motto, Hakuna Matata.
The anti-motto.
The anti-motto of Kaladin.
He essentially just can't let go of things. He harbors it all inside. He doesn't let people in. He has a struggle to trust people that they can fend for themselves, because he feels like he has to be the one to be the hero. He can't let anyone else be the hero.
Wow. We haven't said that out loud. That's how I act. That's what I do. I'm Kaladin, apparently. Which is really intense to hear it straight from your mouth just now.
So, well, this is perfect.
This is perfect. Yeah.
Because and you're not alone in that. You really aren't. There's so many people. There's something in the counseling world that we call rescuing. And it's essentially, if you're struggling through something and I jump in and give you the words to say something or help you out with it, I'm rescuing you. And essentially what I'm saying is, I don't believe that you have the strength to get through this on your own. Which is
interesting to use that, because that's exactly what has to happen to Kaladin.
Yeah.
He's physically and emotionally and mentally rescued at several points. His lowest point, he calls apathy the wretch. And I've used that term when talking to my counselor. I say, I fear this wretch of apathy is going to take over, because I care so much. I'm so empathetic towards others that I lose my strength to continue caring. And so I fear that apathy is going to, because apathy is the easy way out. It's easier if I don't care at all than it is to care as much as I do. And so when Kaladin comes to a place of contemplating suicide, stepping off into the chasm and flying for just a moment before hitting the bottom, it's really important to see Sylphrena, his spren, come in and rescue him. And she does it by bringing him a very poisonous leaf, which I think is, and there's something interesting in there that we can discuss later.
I'm sorry, I'm having a huge revelation right now, because there is another character in the Stormlight Archive who calls an emotion a name, and it turns out to be a spren, the thrill.
Ah.
So what if the wretch is similar to the thrill?
Interesting.
In some way.
What if Kaladin has a dark spren following him around, and it's the wretch?
It's the wretch?
He capitalizes wretch in the book.
Ooh.
All right.
Discovered it right here.
Sanderson fans, get a go on that.
But I think what you're saying, apart from that, we'll get over that eventually. Apart from that, what you're saying is totally true of this apathy that comes over and just disregards our ability to engage
Yeah.
with the world around us, and it's some of it's an unwillingness to do that, and I think we do that a lot. We escape, especially in nerd culture. I think that we are prone to escapism in this world, and it's easy, and it's not bad at all. I do it often intentionally,
Same.
because sometimes we do need to rise up out of what we're going through and disengage with the world around us. But Kaladin lives in that state perpetually.
Yeah. He is just kind of, I mean, you said earlier, he holds it all in, he keeps it all, he never lets anything go. And his father's line that he says to him is, "You have to learn when to care, son. You'll grow scars eventually." And I think the way Kaladin hears that is that it's you have to stop caring. You have to be apathetic. And I think what Liren means is you have to let things go. You can't hold the failures over yourself because you won't be able to stand. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing that I think I've learned through reading the Stormlight Archive and reading from Kaladin's perspective is that you have to be able to let go, and you have to find your success over your failures, and you have to let go of those failures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's also a big aspect of Kaladin where he takes responsibility. At the same time that he's choosing to disengage, he is taking on the responsibility of the world around him. And so when bad things happen to people he cares about, he internalizes that and says, it's my fault. And I think something that I want to see in his character arc is that he comes to a point when he can say, it's not my fault that this person died, or that this happened, or that this is the way the world is. That's just the way it is. And a lot of that's out of my control. Here is realistically what is within my control. And here are the places where I can rely on someone else to be the hero for me.
Well, we've seen kind of a little bit of that.
We did.
Yeah. So in the end of Oathbringer, Adam, our production assistant, has not
read this, so he's going to cover his ears while listening to us on the audio recording.
So I talked to him about it earlier. We're going to spoil, and he said it's okay. So Kaladin is stuck in the world of the Spren.
Yep.
And he is fighting in an attempt to kill the Fused who are attacking, and he is trying to summon his armor for the first time, his shard blade.
Fourth ideal.
And he finds he does not know the words when the time comes.
Which I think speaks to something that we see in our lives a lot, is just not being ready for change. We aren't able to make the decisions that we have to make because there's something holding us back. And whether this is because you don't realize that something needs to change, which I think is kind of where we're seeing Kaladin leave, to a point where he recognizes something needs to change but doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And we all find ourselves in this at some point when there's something going on. There's something that is not working for us, and we don't really want to do anything to change it because it's okay right now. And so I'm trusting that Brandon Sanderson is going to bring Kaladin to a point when he recognizes, you know what, the way I'm operating right now isn't working, and I need to do something different, and that he can get the help from his allies to be able to take the steps towards growth and change and get rid of the wretch, either physically or metaphorically, and grow as a character.
Yeah. I found the passage. That
was so fast.
I literally turned right to it without trying, on accident.
It's magic.
Yeah, magic.
Praying for superpowers magic.
So it goes. Right now we're seeing three different characters. We're seeing Dalinar, Teft, and Kaladin stutters, the words stumbling out of his mouth, and he relives some of his horrors at that time. Dalinar is fighting Odium. I mean, it goes through basically every character. Seth and Renarin, and Kaladin thought finally of Dalinar. Could Kaladin do it? Could he really say these words? Could he mean them? The fuse swept above. Adolin bled. You know what you need to do, Syl's voice. I can't, Kaladin finally whispered, tears streaming down his face. I can't lose him, but oh, almighty, I cannot save him. Kaladin bowed his head, sagging forward, trembling. He couldn't say those words. He wasn't strong enough.
And what I hear in that is he knows the words he has to say.
Yeah.
He's just unwilling to speak them.
Ooh. He can't make the commitment to change.
Yeah.
Which is a really hard thing.
Yeah.
And a few moments later, Syl says, maybe it's time for someone to save you, as she's weeping with him, which is a huge thing for someone that has this desire to rescue others, for someone to say, it's not time for you to rescue someone else. It's time for you to be rescued from this. And I think we're going to see a shift in Kaladin, but I think it's going to take a while. Mm-hmm. Because he might make some progress, but I think he's probably going to be the last of the 10 main characters to gain his shard plate. Yeah. Because he has to break through his entire life experience, basically.
Yeah. I hope that you can see parts of yourself in Kaladin, and that you hear the hopefulness that there's growth, that there's change, that there's development. And I see that in our own lives, that we can all learn from others. We can grow in our character development and ultimately be a hero that we reflect on and say, like, okay, at first I wasn't sure that I liked that I was similar to this person, but now I'm really happy to be similar to this person.
And if you feel like you are constantly feeling protective of others and trying to rescue friends and family, it's okay when you need to be rescued. Go to others when you're not strong enough, and let them see the side of you that so far only Syl has seen of Kaladin.
We're cheering for you. Go forth and conquer, heroes.
Bridge up.